What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be doing my first Q&A on this channel where I actually posted something on Instagram. My Instagram handle is Alan_Jaramillo. I'll put it on the screen somewhere. But I pretty much asked my audience, you guys, if you guys had any questions that you wanted to ask me, and they could be anything ranging from fitness to lifestyle, how I balance things and everything like that. And overall, it was a great turnout. I tried, and I want to thank everyone for asking questions. It really was truly awesome that I had people, you know, like actually reaching out to me and asking me these questions. It does mean a lot. It shows me that you guys are very interactive with me, and yeah, I mean, I appreciate that. So I tried to do this like a while ago when I didn't really have like too big of an audience, and I still don't really have too big of an audience, but this time I definitely got a lot more questions than I thought I was going to get, so let's go into them. I'm going to try and answer every single one as fast as I can, but like while explaining it to like the best of my ability. So the first question is from Dominate_Fit. I have a question about which exercises, so rep and set scheme, are the best to grow shoulders. Okay, so this is a good question. It's going to range from each individual person based on inserts, where the muscle inserts and how well developed the muscle already is for that person. Shoulders are really big. They have to do with genetics and everything like that. Unfortunately, that is the case for them. For me personally, I lack pretty much like good genetics in my shoulders. I have better genetics in my chest, but to answer your question, I personally train them in a higher rep range than all the other muscle groups. On other muscle groups, I will train to like 8 reps and maybe like 4 sets. But for shoulders, I actually do 4 sets, probably like 10 to 12, just because I feel like it recruits more muscle fibers at that rep scheme. And I feel like I work them better that way. And you're gonna notice that on a lot of different people, their shoulders automatically start popping first. And that just has to do with genetics and stuff like that. Some people are more genetically gifted than other people. That is the reality of it. But I can honestly say that a really big factor into me growing my shoulders, because I feel like I'm not genetically gifted in that way, was not going till complete failure on all of my exercises and whatnot. A lot of people will see people on Instagram and they'll try and overdo it with like 20 reps, completely just annihilating their shoulders and stuff just because they see professionals in the IFBB do it. But that's actually not the case, guys. If you're natural, you should not train till failure because you won't be able to recover properly. It's just simply too much volume for your body to handle, and I always suggest that you stop with at least 2 reps left in the tank, and that's what I recommend. So if you can really if you're doing 12, you should be able to do 14 in a sense. So I hope that answered your question. A little bit off topic, but I thought it was good info. So Ray Lee asks, how much halotop do you eat in a week? And I'm going to answer this in a serious manner. So pretty much, if I have Bill in the bank, I will eat halotop like 4 times a week. And especially if I'm cutting, like right now I'm doing intermittent fasting and cutting and everything like that. So I love to end my nights with inhaling ice cream from halotop. And yeah, probably 3 pints a week minimum. And okay, so Muscles by Mal. What's your strategy for balancing a college social life and your fitness goals? Okay, this is a common one too. Dark Trey also asked, how do you find time to balance going to the gym and going to school/work? So those are kind of two of the same thing. My number one tip for anyone that's trying to balance anything in life is to get a schedule. I personally use Grant Cardone's 10X rule planner. It has been the best planner ever. I actually just ran out of room in that planner though, so I'm using a composition notebook, and I've kind of just copied like the exact format that the 10X uses inside the notebook. You can do that, or you can just buy a new notebook. I just really haven't done it yet. But if I have a lot of things that I gotta do in a day, so say if it's create content for social media, if it's schoolwork, and if it's partying, I put everything inside my planner and I separate my day by like specific times. So if I'm like here sitting at my desk the night before, I plan out my entire day for the next day, and that's how I plan on doing it. For the most part, I do not go out too much in college just because I find it more fulfilling to stay inside and learn and create content and stuff like that. Occasionally I will go out, but it's not like an every weekend type thing or everyday thing for me. That's just me. My preference. But the point is, if you're trying to balance something, a schedule always works. You know, give yourself time frames to complete certain things. If you have your number one priorities, I would take care of it before 12 o'clock. You know, maybe 12 o'clock go to the gym, and then from 12 to nighttime, right before you go out, you take care of another thing. So if I have fitness content that I want to be posted, like a YouTube video or anything, it'll be taken care of before 12 o'clock in the afternoon. And then if I have schoolwork, I'll do it right after 12 or after my gym session. And then at night, I will literally put in my planner going out to party. I find it more helpful to write everything down so it actually like cements inside your brain. I know that's not actually a thing, but you know what I mean? It just helps you remember more, and it helps you just have everything laid out so you can follow it, like, you know, so you can follow it throughout the day. Okay, so I'm gonna butcher this last name. So Char Senatiempo, I think I did a good job. She said, "Hey Hulk, how you living?" I'm living good, Char. Thank you for asking. She also asks, I get hungry at night. What do I do to stop the cravings? This is a good one. Okay, to answer your question, there's two ways you can do this. You can either buy foods that are really low in calorie and fulfilling, or you can do intermittent fasting, which is exactly what I do. So the first, I'm gonna go into the foods. So this is a perfect example of a food item that you can have that is very low in calories, so 10 calories per thing of Jell-O. That's something that you can have at night. It's really just gonna like satisfy your sweet tooth, and it's going to allow you to just go to bed on like, you know, not an empty stomach. And eating that is better than eating like a box full of cookies or anything like that, because that's literally only 10 calories. A box, like a couple cookies is definitely over like 200 calories, depending on what you buy, but for the most part. One thing I want to talk about is also intermittent fasting. So intermittent fasting is pretty much where you have a time zone. So in my case, it's 8 hours of eating, and that's going to allow you to eat really big meals and feel a lot more satisfied because you're fitting your small caloric intake, if you're trying to lose weight, inside of 8 hours. So for example, you could set up your 8-hour eating window from 4 o'clock p.m. to 12 o'clock a.m. So what that does is that you can literally save all your food for nighttime. So if you have like 2,000 calories to eat, that is pretty hard to eat in about 8 hours. So by the time you go to bed, you will be really full because you're just literally saving all your calories for nighttime, okay? So a lot of people ask like, what about the fasting part of intermittent fasting? So you pretty much would fast till 4 p.m. in the afternoon, and that is completely okay, guys. A lot of people think that it's like unhealthy to fast, or they think that it is hard to fast. Once you get past the first week, your body will adjust to not eating until 4 p.m. or 2 p.m. if you wish to do that. And it'll just be a lot easier for your body to handle, and you won't even get hungry until then. So that's what I recommend for late night cravings, because that's exactly why I do it. If I'm low on calories, I'm a big late night eater, and that's like probably my biggest obstacle that I face. So I made sure that my eating window ends at like 10 or 12 so I can finish all my calories by then, and I'll go to bed on a full stomach. So hope that answered your question, Sharon. So Yadira Fitness asks, what are your thoughts about intermittent fasting? Just answered that. LOL. I think it's a great way to diet. It's a great tool to diet. I completely like believe in it 100%. I didn't really try it till this summer, and once I tried it, I fell in love with it completely. Once you get past, like, you get a little bit hungry the first week, right after you get past that, it's literally like you don't even get hungry till like 6 o'clock at night, and it's just normal to you, okay? So you also feel a lot more mental clarity too, because you can literally just focus on what you need to do in the morning and then the early afternoon, and then at night you can just focus on inhaling food all you want, pretty much. So Dana D Fitness asks, how can I go about growing my glutes and leaning out my stomach area? Okay, this is a pretty good question. it's really just tailored to a lot of girls, in my opinion. So a lot of girls want to have a small waist and they want to have a big butt, pretty much. So my recommendation to you is that I would go on a bulk for a while, okay, preferably 6 months. Now, I would do a lean bulk so you minimize the amount of fat that you gain in your midsection, but the good thing about this is that your glutes will grow during that process if you train them properly, okay? So once you start to cut down, your belly fat will go away, okay? And then once you're, if you follow your macros correctly and you're following a very good diet for retaining muscle mass while losing weight, your glutes will pop completely. I've seen a lot of girls do this, and a lot of people are afraid to actually bulk up, but it is needed to grow your glutes, okay? So as long as you're doing proper glute activation and you're hitting your glutes pretty hard in the gym, when you cut down, they will reveal, and as long as you stay true to your diet and you have a sufficient amount of protein in there for you to retain your glute muscle mass, your glute will pop out and your stomach will get smaller, okay? Hope that answered your question. But yeah, you should go through a bulking and cutting phase. I always recommend that. A lot of women fear doing that because they think they'll get fat. But if you just watch your calories and you do a lean bulk, you should be completely fine, okay? So Learn, Lift, Thrive asked, how do you resist all the junk food and alcohol in college? Okay, this is a question I get pretty often, and it's simply because of priorities and goals. So pretty much you have to... Whether you like it or not, you have to prioritize a lot of things in your life, okay? So you have to prioritize things on importance, okay, and value to you. Like, what do you find the most valuable? So for me personally, I find more value in talking to clients, educating people on fitness, trying to develop my social media, helping people understand that fitness is not some crazy thing that it's not possible for you to do. Like, I want to make sure that everyone can, just help themselves through fitness and wellness and all that good stuff. So I find that more valuable and important than going out and drinking on the weekends and not remembering what's going on. Now, a lot of people will argue, I do believe there is balance, okay? So there is a balance that you should have. But I also believe that if your goals and your desire to reach those goals outweigh your desire to go out and party, I feel like you should put your time into what you truly just desire to do. Because, you know what I mean? Like, I do believe in balance, but when it comes to prioritizing, I prioritize on fulfillment. And for me personally, it is not really my thing to go out and party too much because I don't really find fulfillment in it. And that's just me. It may be different for someone else. I've seen many people, go through the whole fitness thing and party at the same time, and it's very possible. But for me personally, that's like just, like that's just something that I truly believe in. That's like something that I go towards. Not to say that I don't want to go out and party. Like, I like to go out and party from time to time, but for the most part right now, it's just been more occupied on creating content and everything for you guys to educate everyone, okay? So I hope that answered your question. Peter Fab asked, how are rain clouds formed? You know what? They're formed through, protein powder. The protein powder is mixed up in a pot down here, and, some of the powder rises, and it actually just lifts up out of the pot, and it goes into the sky, and depending on if it's a good protein powder quality, it will be a nice cloud, and if it's not, it will rain. So that's just pretty much answering that. And so Carla Burga, I want to say that's Burga, all right, we'll go with that. So what are your thoughts on carb cycling? So carb cycling, for those of you who do not know that, it's pretty much when you manipulate your carbs. It's just another form of weight loss, okay? It's a preferred tool to actually, like, like structure your diet. So there's intermittent fasting, there's carb cycling, there's a ton of different things out there. There's keto, all that stuff. But carb cycling is when you manipulate your carbs from day to day. So you might do like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday low carb, and then the fourth day will be high carb and stuff like that. And as far as like my thoughts on it, I don't want to go too into detail as to like what really entails and stuff like that, because I can do a separate video on that. If you guys want to, just drop it in the comment section below and I can do that. But as far as my thoughts on it, I have tried it before and I really did not enjoy it at all, because I feel like the carbs were too low for me to, you know, like the 3 days that I did low carbs were just complete hell, and I just would rather keep myself at a constant carb intake and lower them as I go, just so my body can, like, you know, get used to it and stuff like that. But as far as I'm concerned, I just really don't like it. But I have seen people get amazing results with it, so it is a good way to lose weight if you're trying to cut. So Jim Buck 2, what's going on, Jimmy? He asks, what approach do you take towards power building, aka how do you program your strength training to go along with your bodybuilding and vice versa? Okay, so this is something that I've been becoming more like familiar with, and I have been doing this a lot in my gym sessions. So one thing I can tell you straight off the bat if you're doing power building is to expect to be in the gym a lot longer, okay? So pretty much when you do a power building split, it's like you want to take care of your compounds first, in my opinion. So like, for example, we're doing chest or something, right? So like you start off on the bench, and I personally stick with 8x3s or 5x5s. I find that they work best for me. But when you do those, you have to take long rest times, and then that makes the workout go to like 2.5 hours to 3 hours, because you're literally there for like 45 minutes in my case. So you want to make sure that you're properly recovered for each and every set. So you do need to take time to actually rest in between those sets instead of trying to rush it. So after that power part, which is, you know, low reps, below 5 or at 5, and whether you want to do 8x3s or 5x5s, whatever, you take care of that first, and then you get into your accessory movements where you're more focused on hypertrophy range for muscle growth. So anything from 6 to 12 reps is usually what I stick with. I'm more lean towards like 8 reps to 10 reps, but that is the hypertrophy range in a sense. So that's what I do, and that's how I balance it. I take care of my compound lifts first, do power when I do them, and then I do my hypertrophy accessories for that muscle group after the power part. So Natalie Hayes Fitness asks, options when you're craving soda. So this is a really like good question, because of the fact that a lot of people cannot seem to steer clear of regular soda or Coca-Cola, if we want to use a specific example. So like when you drink those things, not only are they really bad for you, but they do have a lot of extra calories that you are consuming. So a lot of people don't know this, but like I think a little bottle of Coca-Cola could have like 40 grams of carbs in there, and you're literally just drinking those carbs without even thinking about it, because since it's not technically a solid food, you're thinking that it's not like giving you the same effect as eating food, but you actually do gain a lot of weight eating those things. So my thoughts on that is that get anything 0 calorie. In my opinion, anything 0 calorie is a lot better than having something with liquid calories in there, just because of the fact that you will not gain weight if it's 0 calories, okay? Now, there's an argument that a lot of other things have chemicals and stuff. Like, people think that diet soda is like horrible for you because of the chemicals inside of it. What they're referring to is aspartame, and it's been proven by science that you would need like a ridiculous amount of aspartame, or in this case, like just you'd have to drink a ridiculous amount of Coca-Cola, diet Coca-Cola, to feel any type of effect from aspartame. So, in my opinion, anything 0 calorie. There's a lot of things on. There's a lot of good ones out there, like Ice or Coke Zero is my preferred things. I definitely recommend checking those out, because they do feel like sudsy, and they kind of just replace the craving for soda. So hope that answers your question. So Brandon McBee asked, what are your go-to supplements? Okay, so currently right now I'm taking pre-workout, I'm taking creatine inside my pre-workout, and then I'm also taking a multivitamin. You'll notice that I'm not really doing protein powder right now. basically, like when I do a cut or anything like that, my stomach gets really sensitive to those things, so I steer clear away from them. But if I can afford it, I will buy protein powder and things like that, but it is not the end all be all. If I do not want to spend my money on supplements, I'd rather spend it on other things, I will do that, and I do not rely on supplements to get my results for me. Therefore, I just take care of everything from Whole Foods. The pre-workout's pretty much there just because when my calories are low, like during this cut, I'm gonna want that pre-workout just to give me a little bit of energy in the gym and stuff like that. But creatine's gonna help me stay full and everything like that. Multivitamin is just something that I keep in my routine pretty much all the time, mainly for the fact that it fulfills a lot of micronutrients and stuff, and it keeps everything in my body working good. And it allows me to digest my macronutrients a lot more efficiently, and that's pretty much like the staples that I keep inside my diet. Let's see. Martial Lifestyle asks, what is your advice for someone who has never weightlifted before but is extremely nervous to start, especially since it seems a lot more intimidating near the weights? Good question. So when I first started, I was this most self-conscious kid. I've always told you guys on this channel, I was really shy. I didn't really have the confidence to go into the gym and lift next to like the jacked dads at my gym. So, and they were like scary as hell too. So like I would like be so self-conscious of actually like lifting with them. So what I did was I went home and I started doing calisthenic work. So that's like pretty much like how I started. I would do ridiculous amounts of calisthenic work. And that's just basically doing like push-ups, pull-ups, all that good stuff. Guys, if you are beginning or you're afraid to go in the gym, one, have no fear, because if you think about it, those guys are doing their own thing and they're not paying attention to you because they're doing their own thing and they're focused on themselves, or at least they should be. And you're doing your own thing and you focus on yourself and nobody else, okay? So if you fear about going inside the gym, don't, guys. But if you really have a struggle to get inside the gym without, without getting over the fear of being judged, I recommend that you get familiar with calisthenics and you try to get really good at them, okay? One thing I found that really jump-started my fitness journey or whatever is that when I got really good at push-ups and pull-ups and everything like that, they helped me out a lot once I started lifting actual weights and stuff. When I first started to bench, I didn't even bench below a plate because my chest was so developed from doing so many push-ups and I was so strong naturally that I never even went below 135 to start. So calisthenics is definitely a great way to get started, and I believe it's like, it can really help you out when you're starting to get inside the weight room. So a lot of people like to think that like since they can't push a lot of weight, they don't want to start because they think it's embarrassing. Guys, don't feel that way, please. Like everyone starts in place, but I understand where you're coming from. You might feel a little bit intimidated. Get good at calisthenics, and that should up your weight in the future so that when you actually do step inside the gym, you will already be able to push your way around in a pretty good manner in there, if that makes sense. So I believe that wraps it up for the Q&A, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's been like 25 minutes right now, and there were a lot of good questions, and I want to thank everyone who actually asked a question to me. It means a lot that you took time out of your day to ask me for advice, and that's just freaking awesome to me. I want to thank you guys so much for watching the video. If you guys did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up for me. And if you guys want to see more content throughout the week, next week, whatever, please subscribe to the channel. A big complaint that I've been getting is I have not been inside the gym with the camera. Guys, I'm so sorry about this, but literally I can't film in my school gym because they won't let me. They're like freaking... They won't let me film inside the gym at all, not even like with my phone or anything. If they see me with my phone out, they will come up and like tell me not to film and stuff. So it's kind of stupid, but they have rules and I have to follow them if I want to work out there, so it's understandable. But when I get home, I get on break in about 2 weeks. I plan on getting a ridiculous amount of content with me lifting. I may do daily vlogs. I'm not sure. If you guys want to see that, comment below. But But yeah, in a couple weeks when I get on winter break, I will be doing a lot more in-person video stuff. Me actually lifting weights in the gym, maybe some tutorials too about like certain routines that I recommend that you guys get into. But yeah, I just wanted to address that at the end of this video. So thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe if you want to see more. Give the video a thumbs up if you want to see, give the video a thumbs up if you did enjoy it. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you.